A very good evening. You're listening to the news roundup on Gold FM.
The top story on Gold FM.
The Slim Kanta People's Awards 2026 concluded with a sweeping victory for Asia Broadcasting Corporation. Hero TV secured the prestigious Television Channel of the Year and Youth Choice Television Channel of the Year titles. It also cemented its lead as the news provider of the year. In the entertainment categories, Hero Star claimed Television Program of the Year, while Paata Kurullo took the award for the most popular teledrama of the year. Its lead Sajitha Anthony received the Actor of the Year trophy. On the airwaves, Hero FM celebrated a dual win as Radio Station of the Year and Radio Program of the Year for DJ Ara and Paspara. DJ Ara also earned the individual distinction of Radio Presenter of the Year. Shaw FM maintained its popularity among younger listeners as the Youth Choice Radio Station of the Year, and Suryan FM captured the Tamil Radio Station of the Year award. These accolades reflect the strong trust and reliable response from a vast national audience. By elevating the standards of audiovisual media in Sri Lanka, the network continues to reach new milestones in the industry and expresses deep gratitude to the viewers for their unwavering confidence.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
The government initiated the fuel distribution system today based on the final digit of vehicle license plates. Under this odd-even scheme, tomorrow remains reserved exclusively for vehicles with even-numbered plates. While some regions reported a noticeable reduction in station congestion compared to yesterday, significant queues persisted in other areas. Technical glitches involving the QR code system continue to cause delays for motorists, though Sumadhu Ratnayake, advisor to the Ministry of Digital Economy, stated during a Colombo press conference that these issues now stand resolved. Now meanwhile, Ceylon Petroleum Corporation Managing Director Myronethi Kumara provided a detailed update regarding current stock levels and pending shipments to clarify the national supply status. In my local news, President Anura Kumara Dissanayake met with US Special Representative for South and Central Asia, Sergio Go, at the Presidential Secretariat today to bolster bilateral ties between Sri Lanka and the US. During the session, the President briefed the American delegation on Sri Lanka's position regarding the Middle East conflict and the specific economic challenges arising from the crisis. In a separate diplomatic move, the President held a telephone conversation with Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani last night. This focused on the escalating tensions in the Middle East and the welfare of over 150,000 Sri Lankan expatriates currently residing in Qatar. There is an opportunity even amidst the dark days of severe disruption. But to benefit from the global chaos, the government must spring into action and not stay idle. This is one of the messages conveyed by the opposition in Parliament today. Further, there were also calls to expedite institutional reforms. Speaking in the House, MP Ravi Karunanayake had this to say.
We have got economic stability, but the main problem in Sri Lanka, we have not got the economic transformation that was there. And that structural reforms that were required needs to be done soon. The state enterprises reforms must be done. The commercialization of state-owned enterprises must be carried out immediately. Now look at Sri Lankan Airlines. They say that the loss for the day is roughly about 400 million rupees. Now 400 million a day means it's roughly about 12 billion a month. 12 billion, 144 billion a year. Now that's not what is expected of a Sri Lankan National Airlines. So we give ideas, let's work together, ensure that we crystallize this into a positive area. Then the trade reform. This is absolutely essential. We have market access. Where is the Singapore-Sri Lanka free trade agreement that was there? Where is the Thailand free trade agreement that is there? Where is the ITCA of India? Look at the way India is moving forward. Free trade agreement into Europe with zero taxes that are there. Then look at the labour market reforms. These are absolutely essential.
Meanwhile, MP Faisal Mustafa urged the government to snap up the money currently flowing out of the Middle East due to the war.
With regard to the sports city regulations, I would like to appeal to the government, stop talking, please move on. You know that in the Middle East there is conflict, there is great opportunity. People are looking at moving their funds from the Middle East. So you should look at offering similar concessions, not be dictated by the IMF, and go there and try to entice those ones who are trying to leave the Middle East, because safety is paramount for investment, and that should be done immediately.
He also had some suggestions on how to attract investments.
The port city, there is 269 hectares. We allow 100% ownership, full capital repatriation, 137 authorized businesses. So we have only 137 authorized business compared to DIFC in Dubai. There are 8,800 companies, 50,000 professionals, and over 200 billion worth of investment made. The fundamental issue in Sri Lanka, when you make an application to the port city, there is no specific time period for the approval to be granted. Whereas in DIFC, within 2 to 6 weeks your approval is granted. If you take the gift city in India, they offer a 10-year tax concession, approval in 2 to 8 weeks. And I believe in COPF, questions were raised as regards to how certain entities got approval and certain entities did not get approval. So therefore, this has to be looked into. As also, if you are going to encourage the port city for investment, dispute resolution has to be expedited. There should be a separate commercial high court set in there. And also, we have to look at how we can expedite our arbitration process. You all should not be dictated by the IMF. ඔබතුමාලා තමයි විශේෂයෙන් විපක්ෂයේ ඉන්නකොට IMF එක අනුව කටයුතු කිරීම ගැන ලොකු කතා කිව්වේ.
In the meantime, parliamentarian Rauf Hakim delivered some strong words about Sri Lanka's stance on the war and the government's handling of the Iranian vessel IRIS Dana.
While a country which has been called an apartheid nation, Israel, which has caused serious genocide of Palestinians, has Iran caused a genocide? You may not like the regime. Have they established an apartheid state? No. But an apartheid state and a genocide state, together with Americans, have bombarded Iran, killed several of its leaders, and this government didn't have the backbone to criticize that. It might go on to months. Now, if you take a public opinion in Sri Lanka, every community will stand with Iran. But unfortunately, our government has chosen not to say anything that would hurt the American. Now, this happened when close to our territorial waters, an Iranian frigate was torpedoed. There was a diplomatic note sent to the foreign ministry, complete silence for more than 11 hours. It was even discussed in the Security Council. No decision was taken. Now, this is how you treat a friendly country. Finally, 100 sailors fed with their lives. They were not full-fledged sailors. They were cadets. They were not engaged in warfare. If you had allowed the ship to come on to one of our ports, this wouldn't have happened. Of course, the President had a special press briefing and said, we have done our humanitarian duty. We went and saved the sailors. But that is something that you are obliged to do under international obligations. Now, this is the convention that our Honorable Foreign Minister spoke about in that famous panel discussion with Palki Sharma as the moderator. I am not going to talk about the Honorable Foreign Minister's language skills. But then the question was asked, but his Kohedayana answer he was giving.
The Bribery Commission informed the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court today that Kapila Chandrasena, the former CEO of Sri Lankan Airlines, allegedly channeled bribe money from the Airbus deal to former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and former Aviation Minister Priyanka Rajaratne. Lawyers for Chandrasena countered these claims, filing an affidavit alleging that the Director General of the Bribery Commission pressured the suspect during his statement.
මේ අවස්ථාවේදී තා පැහැදිලිව කපිල චන්ද්‍රසේන නැමැති පුද්ගලයෙක් ශ්‍රී ලංකන් එයාර්ලයින්ස් එකේ කලින් වැඩ කරපු ප්‍රධාන විධායක නිලධාරියා සැකකරුවෙක් විදිහට අධිකරණ ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමක් කරා. ඔහුගේ ඉදිරිපත් කිරීම ඔහු අත්අඩංගුවට ගැනීම ඒ කියන කිසිදු කාරණයක් සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපිට කිසිදු ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. නීතිඥවරු විදිහට ඕනෑම විමර්ශනයක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. නමුත් ඉතා බරපතල තත්ත්වයක් මෙහිදී උද්ගත වෙලා තියෙනවා. එම තැනැත්තා ගරු අධිකරණයට දියුණුම් ප්‍රකාශයක් ලබා දීමක් කරලා පැහැදිලිව කියා සිටියා. ඔහුගේ නීතිඥවරයා මාර්ගයෙන් තමන්ට අල්ලස් හෝ දූෂණ විමර්ශන කොමිෂන් සභාවේ අධ්‍යක්ෂක ජෙනරාල්වරයා තමන් ප්‍රකාශයක් සටහන් කරන අවස්ථාවේදී විවිධ දේශපාලඥයන්ගේ නම් ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නයි කියලා තාජන කිරීමක් කරයි කියලා. එක අවස්ථාවකදී ඔහු කිව්වයි කියලා කියනවා. ජනාධිපති නීතිතුමා පැහැදිලිව කිව්වා තමුන් මං කවුද කියලා දන්නවද කියලා ඇහුවා කියලා. ඒ අනුව තාමත්ම බරපතල ආකාරයට මේ ප්‍රකාශය ලබා ගැනීමක් කරා නරක විදිහට ප්‍රකාශය ලබා ගත්තයි කියන කාරණේ ඔහු පැහැදිලි කිරීමක් කරා. ඊටත් අමතරව ඉදිරියේදී විවිධ දේශපාලඥයන්ගේ නම් මේ සඳහා සම්බන්ධ කිරීමක් සිදු කිරීමට ඉඩ තියෙන තත්ත්වයක් තමයි මේ අනුව තියෙන්නේ. එක පැත්තකින් අල්ලස් හෝ දූෂණ විමර්ශන කොමිෂන් සභාව කියන අධිකරණයට පස්වෙනි විධායක ජනාධිපතිවරයාට වෙන මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ජනාධිපතිවරයාට මේ තැනත්තා සැකකරු සල්ලි දුන්නයි කියලා කිව්වයි කියලා. අනිත් පැත්තෙන් මේ සැකකරු කියනවා අධිකරණයට දියුණු ප්‍රකාශයක් දීලා මම එහෙම නෙවෙයි මගෙන් මේ ප්‍රකාශය බලෙන් ලබා ගත්තයි කියලා. අල්ලස්සෝ දූෂණ විමර්ශන කොමිසම සභාවේ අධ්‍යක්ෂවරයා කාමරයට ගිහිල්ලා බලෙන් ලබා ගත්තයි කියලා. මේක බරපතල තත්ත්වයක්. පැහැදිලි සැකයක් මතුවෙනවා. නිලධාරීන් අත්අඩංගු කරන හැම අවස්ථාවකම උන්ට බලපෑම් කරලා තියෙනවා විවිධ අවස්ථාවලදී. මම කියන්නේ දූෂණ කොමිසම විතරක් නෙවෙයි.
Now for some news in brief.
Sri Lanka was ranked among the least happy nations in the latest World Happiness Report 2026, coming in at 134th out of 147 countries with a score of 4.0, underscoring ongoing concerns about national well-being.
The business news on Gold FM.
The all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange declined 376.62 points to close at 20,264.01 today. The S&P SL 20 index also declined 114.16 points to close at 5,651.41 points. Total market turnover was 4 billion rupees.
International news on Gold FM.
US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the military campaign against Iran will continue until its objectives are achieved. He stated Operation Epic Fury is on track, aiming to destroy Iran's navy and defense industrial base, dismissing concerns of a prolonged conflict.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Kevin Spacey agreed to a settlement with 3 men who accused him of sexual assault, according to multiple reports. The civil case, due to go to trial in London later this year, remains frozen following the agreement, which did not disclose financial figures.
Sports news on Gold FM.
The 92nd Battle of the Saints kicked off at the SSC, with St. Joseph's College reaching a solid 281 for 5 at stumps on day 1. Meanwhile, the historic 121st Lovers' Carol saw Richmond College reach a commanding 203 for 4 at stumps on day 1 at the Galle International Stadium. That's all the news for now. Stay tuned to Gold FM for the latest updates. This is Avanindra Soma for Gold FM News.
Music is love in search of a word. It speaks